Welcome back to Pokemon News of the Week. Today's headlines. Scalpers are at it once again. This week saw a lot of card announcements and a chance to test Pokemon Classic. All that and more in Pokemon News of the Week. Welcome back to Pokemon News of the Week. My name is Bob and here are today's headlines. Today we have a lot of great stuff to talk about. First of all, we're going to talk about the My First Battle deck that got announced a couple of weeks ago. A few weeks back they had these new decks which are basically for children to start getting into and playing the Pokemon card game. These are very small, simple 13 card decks for you to play with your friends and for you to kind of get into the Pokemon card game itself. We got a little bit more information and basically we got some cool new art. First off, these are the two boxes. There are two sets that are releasing. The first set is the one with Pikachu and Bulbasaur. This box art looks pretty nice. And the second set is the one with Charmander and Squirtle, which also looks very, very nice. These decks look pretty cool and the individual cards themselves look pretty sweet as well. Basically, we only really have cards for the 4 starters, including Pikachu. But they have like this kind of cool blue border, so I'll put a couple of them up here. These look really, really nice. Now, I don't know when the release of these is, but I'm going to guess it's going to be in October at some point because there are some other decks that got announced I'm going to talk about in a second that are also coming out in October. The retail price for this is $9.99, so fingers crossed you guys can actually get it at the actual retail price. I know I want to get one of these. They look so adorable and so cool. Now, keeping on the topic of decks, there are actually 2 decks that have been announced that are coming out in the West in October. The first deck is the Greninja EX deck. The art on this Greninja card is the same art that came out in the Japanese Starter EX deck a couple of weeks ago. It's a very cool looking card, and unfortunately for the Japanese ones, that deck in particular sold out very quickly. I think a lot of people here like Greninja. The second deck that got announced is the Kangaskhan deck. So this is the Kangaskhan EX deck. And this Kangaskhan card released in the Japanese Pokemon 151 release. So it's kind of cool that they've got these 2 decks. They're coming out on October 6th and they are retailing at $9.99 US. So if you can get your hands on these, definitely get them. This is a great way for you to actually learn the rules of the game, play the game, and enjoy Pokemon cards. Now we're about 5 days out from the Japanese release of Obsidian Flames. In Japanese, this is called the Kokoe no Shihaisha. And in English, that translates roughly to the ruler of the Black Flame. So you can probably guess that that is going to be Charizard. The Charizard card looks damn sweet. I want to get this card so badly. And last week, there were quite a few announcements of super rares, art rares, and super art rares, which we've already looked at in some detail. So I'll put a couple of them up here. But there were a few more announcements this week, as well as one that I missed from last week. So let me go through a few of these cards. Firstly, there is an Oddish, Gloom, and Blossom, so there are these 3 cards here. They're just standard cards, but I think that these are very cool, very cute, and very, very pretty. The card I missed last week is actually an English announcement from Obsidian Flames. So there is a Rhyme card, and this Rhyme card looks pretty cool. I actually wouldn't mind getting this. I don't know if it's actually going to be releasing 100% in the Japanese set. And I also find it interesting that a lot of the cards are announced in English before they're announced in Japanese, even though the Japanese set is coming first. But this card looks pretty cool. In addition, there is also the Charmander art rare that was announced quite a while back as a promo card for the English Obsidian Flames. I think it's the Elite Trainer box that was announced. I'm going to assume, and we don't have any confirmation yet, that this is going to be an art rare in this set, which also means potentially there is going to be a art rare Charmeleon. So those are those cards there. On top of that, there was a Houndour. Now this Houndour looks very, very cute, and I think it's nice that Houndour's actually getting a little bit of love here. But that means there's probably going to be a Houndoom super rare or super art rare. I can only assume. But the card that made my wife very, very happy is the Ortega Super Rare card. And this card looks actually really, really cool. I think that they've done a very good job with this art, and his hair and his clothing looks a lot pinker than I actually remember. But this is definitely going to be my wife's chase card. So those are a few announcements for Obsidian Flames coming very, very soon. And for those of you that don't know, we actually did get a full box on pre-order as well as one of the deck build sets. So we are going to have a full unboxing coming on July 28th. We're in July now, I have to remember that. So make sure that you subscribe, make sure you stay tuned because we're going to open that up after I come back from work and you guys are going to get a full video on release date. So stay tuned. But one more thing is actually coming out on July 28th, and that is the Yokohama Pikachu special deck in celebration of the Pokemon tournament that's happening in Japan. We won the lottery! We got one of these on pre-order! And oh my god, I could not believe it. I have been stressing for the past couple of weeks thinking, oh my god, we are not going to get one of these. We were so damn lucky. How did we get one of these? This deck looks amazing. Simply, this is just a deck to celebrate the event that's happening in Japan. This is the World Championship where lots of people are going to be coming over for card games, the actual Pokemon game, like Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon Go, just everything Pokemon. So this is such a cool thing to get. The problem, scalpers are going crazy with this deck. There are only really 3 ways that you can win this. The first way is through the Pokemon Center online lottery that we were lucky to win one of these boxes. The second way is to actually buy it from a physical like Pokemon Center store in Japan on the 28th of July. If you won the lottery to enter the Pokemon Center on that day. So, bad news, probably most of you didn't actually even apply. The third way is to buy it at the Yokohama event while they have the special Pokemon World store open there. Again, the lottery tickets for that have finished, so if you haven't applied, good luck getting one of these. Scalpers are taking huge advantage of this, and what they're doing is they are just pumping up the price ridiculously. Look at this price. That is 36,000 yen. That means it's about $250 to $300 because the yen right now is really weak. And that's a lot of money for a deck. But you've also got to consider that the actual price of the deck, if you were to buy it retail, is 3,500 yen. That is a 10 times markup. And that happened 5 minutes after the results came in. What the hell? This is such a huge problem and it still sucks. And the worst part, that 36,000 is actually kind of the cheaper line or the cheaper level. Because after that, look at these. I found these pictures on Mercari, so a website, like a resale website. These prices go up so much. It blows my mind. And it's just such an unfortunate crying shame that people are still doing this. The good news for you guys is we are going to be opening up our box. My goal is not to collect it and hoard it for the future. I want to open it. I want to show you guys what is in here. So we're going to do a full unboxing on July 28th. Probably it's going to come to you guys 1 week later, so around tournament date. But yeah, just wanted to let you know we're very, very happy to get this and avoid the scammers that are trying to sell this at ridiculous prices. And finally in the news, the Pokemon Classic set that got announced last year, which is going to be coming out at the end of this year, you can actually playtest this at the World Champion Tournament at Yokohama. Basically, this is going to be a chance for you to go and test out this new game to see what it's like. It's kind of interesting because instead of using counters, they use little stacking kind of cups and they have like a spinning thing. Like, I think that's just like flipping a coin for heads and tails. I don't quite get it. But the cool thing about this set is it's just a kind of bounce back or kind of a look back at a lot of older cards that released a long time ago. For example, the Charizard, the Blastoise, the Venusaur. There's a really nice Pikachu card in here. And there are lots of other cards. So maybe I'll put some of them up here. So if you are at the tournament, if you can, go play test it. The cards are probably going to be in Japanese, so you can just try it out, just get a feel for it, and you can probably feel the nice texture on those cards because, yeah, Japanese cards have wonderful texture on them. But anyway, this is going to be playable, so do check it out. And my card of the week is the Blaziken VMAX Alternative Art Super Rare from Chilling Rain. I think I got that right. I think that's the right rarity. This card is beautiful, and the reason why it is getting a spotlight today is because of Reddit. Right now on Reddit, there is a challenge, like every day they are basically cutting off one random card from the Sword and Shield era with the nice alternative arts. And Blaziken went way too early. way too early. Just look at this card. It is beautiful. Just the art is fantastic. The other Pokemon in it, I actually really like this a lot. And it's such a crying shame that this went before a lot of the other cards in that. So I wanted to give it a bit of a highlight today. So this is my card of the week. So everyone, that's everything for Pokemon news this week. Basically, I'm filming this a little bit earlier this week because I'm going to Tokyo to watch Game Grumps live. I am so excited. But because I'm going to be up there early, and I am actually going to be up there all week, I am hoping to go to Yokohama and take a look at some of the art museums. I don't think I'm going to live stream it, but I do think I'm going to film a lot of the area. So you guys are probably going to get a video regarding that art at some point. So make sure that you have subscribed, make sure you stay tuned because there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming. And finally, please remember, next week is the release of the Japanese Obsidian Flames, and I am so excited. I cannot wait. I might do a live stream at some point next week to take a look at the card list if it gets announced so we can have a quick look through the stuff. But if you missed that, make sure you stay tuned for the 28th because there is a full video coming your way. Okay, so that's everything for this week. See you next week in more Pokemon news of the week.